shaping up to be a November to remember here in Tampa, as the Bucs have yet to lose this month. They're 5-4 overall as they host the 2-7 Atlanta Falcons. Week 11 action of the NFL on Fox. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Curt Menefee, and the story here in Tampa continues to be the resurgence of quarterback Trent Dilfer. Benched after week 7, but since coming back the last 2 weeks, absolutely brilliant. We asked him if he thought maybe the coaching staff panicked a little bit and put him on the sidelines. He said maybe their head coach Tony Dungy won't argue the point.
It's kind of a normal reaction. I've been benched before, I've been traded, and you never think it's the right decision. You obviously want to then, when you get the opportunity, prove that the coach was wrong. And I think that's what Trent has done the last couple of weeks, and hopefully it'll continue throughout the season.
Dilfer's quarterback rating twice as high in the last 2 games, and Brian Baldinger, I guess that shows what happens when you go out there and you play your game. It doesn't matter what they did before.
Well, by benching him, he really challenged Trent Dilfer, and Trent's responded to the challenge. He's thrown 5 touchdown passes, only 1 interception the last 2 weeks. The deep ball is in. He feels hot. But one group that's hotter than Trent Dilfer right now is the defense. They suffocated the Kansas City Chiefs last week, and these 2 guys, Derrick Brooks, John Lynch, combined for 30 tackles. Now, Brooks has tremendous speeds. He can chase everybody down in the checkdowns in the intermediate part of the field, and John Lynch is a heavy hitter from the secondary.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons, defending champions of the NFC, they're trying to just get back in the playoff race, and they're getting some help on offense from Tim Dwight, of all people.
Well, Tim Dwight started off the season as a return specialist. He was very good at it, but he's been a starter the last couple of weeks, and he's really stepped up. He scored 3 touchdown passes. He's been the deep play threat for Chris Chandler, and Chris feels comfortable with him.
All right, time to get ready to ring those Southern bells. The Atlanta Falcons and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. Here in Tampa, 78 degrees, partly cloudy, humidity in the mid-60s. Don't forget that today's game is available in Spanish just by utilizing the SAP button on your television set. Down to the field in the 3rd member of our crew, Chip Carter, with head coach of the Buccaneers, Tony Dungy.
Thanks a lot, Curt. Tony, the question this afternoon with Riedel Anthony inactive, Bert Emanuel is only supposed to see 20 to 25 plays this afternoon. Does that increase Emanuel's playing time, or do we see Carl Williams more?
No, we want to try to keep Bert right about there. Carl Williams and Darnell McDonald have to step up and play a little bit more.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck this afternoon. Curt?
Thank you, Chip. And, of course, Carl Williams active this week for the first time, coming off a foot injury as well. The Buccaneers have won the toss. Yo Murphy deep to receive from Morton Anderson. Warwick Dunn. And Warwick Dunn with a kickoff return takes it back to the 32-yard line. Ronnie Harris on the tackle, 25 yards on the return for Dunn. Part of this big Tampa Bay offense that has been explosive the last couple of weeks as Trent Dilfer has gotten it going here after being benched. We've talked about that quite a bit. Up front for him, Gruber, Jorge Diaz, Tony Mayberry making his 138th consecutive start, Middleton and Wunsch in the backfield. You've already seen Dunn. He's that thunder and lightning combination with Allstott. Emmanuel's first start since week 3. Green and Moore is the tight end. First down from the 32. That's Warwick Dunn. Chuck Smith on the tackle, and Smith leads the front 4 for the Atlanta Falcons. This team as healthy as they have been all season. Everyone on their active roster available today. Smith, Dronette, Hall, and Archambault, the front 4. The linebackers, Brooking, Tuggle, and Crockett. Bradford and Buchanan are the corners. Eugene Robinson, the 15-year veteran, one of the safeties, along with Marty Carter, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
And the Falcons are as healthy as they've been all season. And what you saw in that first down play, stopping the run early is their priority.
Dunn got a yard on first down. Dilfer's first pass complete. Jaquez Green, the former Florida Gator, with the catch. Picks up 6 yards.
We talked about Trent Dilfer, and he's won these 2 games in a row since his benching against Detroit, but he actually was the starting quarterback the week before the benching against Chicago, so he's really on a 3-game win streak, and that 62+% completion ratio is second best in the NFL. He prides himself in that. He does look a lot more comfortable since he's been back.
He works out of the shotgun now on 3rd down. They need 3 yards for the first. Quick pass, high, intercepted. Eugene Robinson. His third interception of the year, hit Warrick Dunn in the hands, pass thrown high, and Dilfer tends to do that early in ball games.
Well, Trent Dilfer has pressure, but he has his check down read to Warrick Dunn. You're going to see a blitz coming off the left side right here. There is Chucky Smith plants Trent Dilfer, but Trent Dilfer, when he is inaccurate, he's high. And he throws this ball high to Warrick Dunn, who is his best receiver with the best hands. The ball went right through his hands. Eugene Robinson, a career best 56 interceptions now.
Falcons take it over on the Tampa Bay 47. Ken Oxendine spins free, picks up 7 yards. The Buccaneers turned the ball over in their first 2 possessions last week. 1 possession, 1 turnover already this time.
Well, the Bucs do peculiar things in offense because of their play-action passes. They often don't block defensive ends. That last play on the interception, they did not block Chuck Smith on the play. They let him come free.
Oxendine picks up 7, so it's 2nd and 3 for the Falcons. Oxendine set deep in the eye behind Bob Christian. And Oxendine gets enough yards for the first down, looks like. Falcons offense led by the veteran Chris Chandler in his 12th year out of Washington. Finally healthy for the first time this season in the backfield, or excuse me, the offensive line. Whitfield, Halland, and Collins, the rotating guards. Toback and Salam also up front. In the backfield, you've got Oxendine and Christian. Tim Dwight making his 4th-started receiver along with Terrence Mathis. O.J. Mathis is the tight end. Make that O.J. Santiago. Terrence Mathis, O.J. Santiago, short of the first down. It's one of those starts for everybody. They didn't get quite enough for the first down.
Well, you know, the Atlanta Falcons, in their 2 wins this year, ran the ball for over 100 yards in each game. The only times this year when they've done that. They come out here, they'd like to run the ball here on this 3rd down and convert it. This would be their game plan right now. Run the ball effectively against a very powerful run defense of Tampa Bay.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have given up the fewest first downs in all of the National Football League. Oxendine, the deep man. Chandler on the quarterback keeper, gets enough for the first down.
Well, we spent a lot of time with the Falcons yesterday, and they were talking about running the football. I mean, that's what they're going to try to do today. They're going to stay with it, even if it doesn't work early. They want to pound the belly of this Buccaneer defense.
Falcons have had trouble running the ball all season long, coming in ranked 30th in the league. Just 70 yards rushing per game. First down from the 35. Oxendine sweeps it outside, picks up 4 yards on the carry before Derek Brooks and John Lynch get it. The defensive front for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers: Steve White, Warren Sapp, Brad Culpepper, and Chidi Ahanotu, a good foursome. Brooks, Nickerson, and Quarles are the linebackers. The corners, Donnie Abraham and Brian Kelly, who's in for the injured Rondé Barber at corner, although Barber will see some action this afternoon. Robinson and Lynch are your safeties.
I think the key to running the ball inside are their guards. Bob Howland, Calvin Collins, both those guys against Culpepper and Sapp. Those are good matchups.
Tim Dwight in motion. Oxendine again. Derek Brooks and Shelton Quarles bring him down. Picks up about 2 yards. This drive so far has been all Ken Oxendine.
And it's 5 straight runs, too. And really, that's the Falcons' only chance here today, is if they can run the football effectively. Because when they do run the ball good, everything is good. Chris Chandler's play-action passes work. Terrence Mathis, a controlled receiver, works good against this defense. Now, this is where they like to hit them.
3rd down, the Falcons need to get to the 25-yard line for the first. Christian alone in the backfield. And he gets the handoff. And enough for the first down. Down to the 23-yard line. They needed 3. He got 5. John Lynch with the tackle.
Well, I mentioned that this is the healthiest they've been all season. You know, they had a bye week last week. You can see here, here's Calvin Collins right here, Bob Howland working against the double team right here against Culpepper. They get him pushed inside. That leaves the safety, John Lynch, there to make the play. Nice gash inside. Another guy that you have to block is Derek Brooks, the weak side linebacker. If you can get to Brooks, you can work the bubble of that defense. That's the softness.
First down from the Buccaneer 24. Dwight in motion again. Another run. Ken Oxendine. John Lynch on the tackle. The Falcons showing no inclination to pass the ball, despite the fact they're 30th in the run coming into this game. And the Buccaneers, the 4th toughest team to run against in the entire league, statistically at least.
Well, here's the bubble of the defense right here. You see the softness here? You have this Culpepper here and Sapp here. That's the bubble. But this is the guy that's very hard to block right there, Derek Brooks. He cuts back that time. John Lynch, the 8th man in the box, the safety walking up, acts like another linebacker. Sapp took himself out of that play.
Oxendine, the deep man in the eye once again for the Falcons. First pass of the game to Tim Dwight. Rondé Barber on the tackle. Dwight picks up 3, maybe 4 yards.
Well, Chris said that he wants to get rid of this football quickly today. You know, against Jacksonville 2 weeks ago, he was sacked 8 times. The Falcons gave up 9 that day, and he knows this pass rush on the road with a lot of noise here. You see him just cupping his hands so he can just hear his own player in a huddle. He knows he has to get rid of that football quickly. It's good he did last time because John Lynch came with the blitz.
Falcons tough on 3rd down conversions all season long. They need to get to the 13-yard line for this one. Chandler gets it off complete. Jamie German inside the 10-yard line, and another first down for the Falcons.
Well, one of the reasons why they gave up 8 sacks a couple weeks ago to Jacksonville was their running backs did a bad job of picking up the blitz. Watch right here as they come on the double blitz right here, as this gets stoned right here, allowing Chris Chandler to step up and make this play. Winslow Oliver, 33 right there, just gets a little hit on Damian Robinson, allowing Chandler time to get this ball to German.
The 10th play of the Falcons drive. 1st and goal from the 9. Bob Christian spread out wide. The handoff to Tim Dwight out of the backfield, and Dwight races into the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons.
That's the track star, and we asked him yesterday if he was going to be in the backfield at all, and he said no, only wide receiver today, but obviously threw us the curve. Nice block on the outside by Bob Christian coming in here, and just a counter move by Timmy Dwight. I mean, he went back to Iowa in the offseason to run track for the Iowa Hawkeyes this year.
The first rushing touchdown of his career. Morton Anderson on to attempt the extra point. And Anderson extends his NFL record to 247 consecutive games with a point. More importantly, the Falcons lead it 7-0.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
Falcons score in their first possession, take a 7-0 lead. Tim Dwight, his first career rushing touchdown. We talked about him in the open, how he has really revitalized this Falcons offense.
You know, he's a spark plug. He's got great speed, and now he's learning how to use that speed, learning when to kind of slow down, shift gears, get people off balance.
Morton Anderson with the kickoff. Yo Murphy scoots his way out to the 27-yard line. Buccaneers begin from there when we return. Tim Dwight runs back, kicks, punt returns, plays wide receiver, and now is scored as a running back.
Utility man.
2 tight end situation for the Buccaneers. First down from the 28. Dilfer under pressure, brought down for the sack. Shane Dronette.
Curt, of that touchdown, he got an excellent block on the outside from Bob Christian. When the fullback lines up a wide receiver, you know, there's a trick up their sleeve right here. He gets the block on the middle linebacker, Hardy Nickerson. Just enough to get the corner for Tim Dwight, who outruns Donnie Abraham to the end zone.
Tim Dwight, the Big Ten 100-meter champion this offseason, went back to Iowa and ran track, so we know he's got the speed. 2nd and 18, Dilfer under pressure again. Got rid of the football.
Well, that's going to be intentional grounding.
There's a flag down, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in the grasp. Chuck Smith and Travis Hall had him. Our referee, Bernie Kukar, making the call.
Yeah, that's the intentional grounding. He was inside the pocket there, Curt, trying to get rid of the football. Now, one of the reasons why Trent Dilfer had played better the last couple of weeks, the pass protection had been outstanding. They'd only given up 1 sack the last 2 weeks. Last week against Kansas City with Derek Thomas and company in town, he barely touched in that game.
There is no penalty. There was an eligible receiver, 28, near the spot, no penalty.
I was saying Warrick Dunn was in the vicinity of that ball. Well, here's Warrick Dunn here, but this is the tight end box for intentional grounding. And he was inside that box, but Warrick Dunn, you're going to see sneaking out of the middle. Here he is right here. It's one of the strengths of Warrick Dunn is you can't see him. And there he is.
So no sack brings up a 3rd and long. They need to get to the 38-yard line for the first. Dilfer out of the shotgun. Falcons coming on the blitz. He gets rid of it, but hit as he throws, falls incomplete. Intended for Jaquez Green. But after the interception on the first possession, it's 3 and out for the Buccaneers on possession number 2.
Well, we said that the Falcons were the healthiest they've been, and they're rested, and they're coming off the football right now, both sides of the ball, and winning that war in the trench.
Mark Royal is one of the best punters in the league. 3rd in the NFC in average, kicking back. Falcons have 2 men deep. There's Tim Dwight, who scored the rushing touchdown. Winslow Oliver also back there. Dwight takes it at the 32. It's the Tim Dwight show, folks. He's into Buccaneer territory. 49 yards on the point, but 26 on the return. Today, the MetLife blimp Snoopy 1 is navigating the skies above Raymond James Stadium to provide aerial coverage of this afternoon's action. The blimp is powered by twin 68-horsepower engines, enabling it to reach a maximum speed of 55 miles an hour at an altitude of 7,000 feet. Look to the skies for the MetLife blimp at future sporting events throughout the year. Falcons flying high right now with a 7-0 lead, their 2nd possession of the game. Quick pass to Tim Dwight. They're getting it in his hands any way they possibly can. Donnie Abraham on the tackle.
Well, the Falcons getting good field position to start today after the good return by Tim Dwight last time and the interception by Eugene Robinson. Big difference today in the Falcons, who really haven't had that luxury many times this season. But you're seeing Chris Chandler getting rid of this football quickly right now. He wants to beat that pass rush. That time he beat the 8-man front with John Lynch walking down.
Right at the bottom of your screen. Ken Oxendine with the carry. Out across the 35-yard line, Hardy Nickerson on the tackle. The thing that impressed me, Baldy, first possession, the Falcons rushed for 34 yards. They're only averaging 70 per game coming into today.
Well, they came in with the mindset that they were going to run the football. You know, you want to see if Tampa Bay wants to just go kill the quarterback or if they want to stay in there and play the run. You know, talking to Derek Brooks this week, he said he thought his defense was getting hot. You know, and that they weren't breaking assignments and they were executing very well. Right now, the Falcons are taking it to them early in this game.
3rd and 1 for the Falcons. Christian alone in the backfield. There's Dwight in motion. Bob Christian gets the first down and then some out to the 30-yard line. A pickup of 4 and yet another Atlanta Falcons first down.
A perfect game plan right here for the Falcons. Keeping the ball away from Trent Dilfer and that explosive offense the last couple of weeks. You got Warren Sapp right here going right at him with Calvin Collins. Double team him right there. That's a nice job by Collins and Ephraim Salam, the right tackle. They cut right behind Sapp on the play. Now, Tampa Bay is a team that doesn't like to stay in there and take you on one-on-one. They're a team that likes to work the edges on both the run and the pass. They always get to the shoulder of that offensive line.
First down from the 30. Chandler. Intended for Bob Christian, but overthrown. Damian Robinson tips it out. We tip it out to Los Angeles and James Brown for an NFL update.
All right, Curt, where the Packers are trying to snap a 3-game losing streak, but they see the Lions culminate an 84-yard opening drive with that 2-yard run by Cedric Irvin, and it's the Lions on top by a touchdown. Back to Curt and Brian.
Boy, the Green Bay Packers really needing a win to keep up with the Detroit Lions, 6-3 and leading the NFC Central right now.
Everybody looking up at Detroit, and they slipped last week against Arizona. They like to maintain that position.
After Chandler's first incompletion, second down. Ken Oxendine. Steve White on the tackle. Oxendine fights his way for a couple of yards. Falcons offensive line looking really good here in the first quarter.
They're moving the line of scrimmage right now. You know, you got Sapp over here. He's in a wide 3. They got a double team on him. I mean, that's moving the line of scrimmage right now. Only about 3 yards in that carry, but a lot of body on body, hat on hat. That makes Art Shell happy on that Falcon offense sideline.
On third and long, Falcons need to get to the 20-yard line for the first. 3 receivers in. And Chandler dumps it off. Winslow Oliver out of the backfield, fights for the first down.
Well, Tampa Bay got exactly what they wanted. They got Chris Chandler to throw the ball underneath, but then they missed the tackle. Damian Robinson was in position to bring down while Oliver wasn't able to do it. Nice job double teaming Sapp inside, and now here's the tackle that has to be made. Right there, Derek Brooks overrunning that play. No, you're going to miss tackles, but you got to know where your help is. Right there, Derek Brooks just overran it, knowing his help was from the outside.
A pickup of 12, first down from the Tampa Bay 15. Chandler, incomplete, intended for Reggie Kelly in the end zone, couldn't hook up. John Lynch on the coverage.
Went to their rookie tight end, Reggie Kelly, that time. Chris Chandler doesn't have a lot of faith in his tight ends to begin with. O.J. Santiago, the starter, only 1 catch in the last 5 weeks. That was only a 2-yarder last week. That's a missing ingredient from this offense from a year ago when Santiago had 19 catches and worked the middle of that field.
This is the 8th play of the Falcons drive. 10 plays on the first drive, so they've been on the offense quite a bit today. Oxendine tries to sweep it outside. He was down.
Yep.
Gets back to the line of scrimmage, flag down on the play, and
the first flag of the afternoon. I see Chandler walking back. It's like this is going to be against the Falcons. Yeah, holding. You try to run wide against this Tampa Bay defense.
Holding. 61 offense. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's on the center, Robbie Tobeck.
You try to run wide here. You got Robbie right here in the middle now. He's just going to be trying to get Culpepper right there. He actually pulls Culpepper down because he tripped over a man on the field.
Second and long, Buccaneers with 5 defensive backs in. Falcons 3 receivers going out. White and German at the bottom of your screen.
Middle
Chandler
screen.
dumps it off. Bob Christian, the fullback, down to the 11-yard line, picks up 14.
Well, excellent play calling here by the Falcons. I mean, the Buccaneers haven't figured this out yet. Right now, you haven't seen a middle screen from the Falcons all season. But here's Warren Sapp in the middle working against Bob Howland, and Howland loves this. Let Sapp go after the quarterback. Sapp thinks he's beaten Howland. They're setting up the middle screen right here. A good setup here with Tobeck in the middle. Howland right here and Collins. That's a nice setup. Bob Christian patient with the run, and now have him in position to convert this third down.
All they need is 6 yards now. They need to get it to the 6-yard line.
Terrence Mathis leads the NFL in third down receptions. He's in motion.
Chandler goes the other way. Hit as he threw, incomplete, intended for Jamie German, but he felt the pressure right away from Derek Brooks.
That's the first time that Chris Chandler's been hit today by that fierce pass rush. He knows he has to get rid of this ball quickly because Derek Brooks coming right after him. Untouched. A mix-up in the communication between him and Jamie German.
Morton Anderson has missed 5 field goals this year, missed only 5 all of last season. Although he missed his first 4 and has been pretty smooth since then.
Yeah,
8 of 9 after missing the first 4. So
has really regained his rhythm since a bad start.
From 29 yards out. Falcons get 3 more, and they score in their first 2 possessions. They lead here in Tampa 10-zip.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by smooth, refreshing Michelob Light, beer or Michelob. By 10-10-321, now just 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes. By Merrill Lynch, there's a new way to work with Merrill Lynch, any way you want. And by Pizza Hut, home of the stuffed crust pizza, another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
Back-to-back 10-play drives by the Falcons, and they lead it 10-0 here in Tampa. Less than a minute to play in the first quarter. Morton Anderson set to kick off. Yo Murphy, the deep man, from his 5. Gets about 5 yards. Falcons with excellent kick coverage. John Dale Carty on the tackle.
But you can see right here on this last 3rd down that Chris Chandler had incomplete. You have Derek Brooks here on a blitz. And Mathis on an in route right here. He doesn't have time because the blitz gets there before Chandler has a chance to look off that receiver. So sometimes you just have to make those quick decisions. Chandler threw the ball away that time.
Falcons 2 possessions, 20 plays, 2 scores. Buccaneers, this is their 7th play of the afternoon. Mike Allstott gets a yard before Travis Hall gets him.
Mike Allstott, of course, trying to recover from last week where he fumbled 3 times. And it's weighed on him. And all he could do is, try to think about this game this week. It's been 5 fumbles this season so far, and he doesn't want to be known as a fumbler. But the Falcons are going to be going after that ball today. It's imperative that he wraps that ball up and hangs on to it.
Well, he's already improved because he fumbled on his first carry last week. He's got 1 carry in the books already this week. And the first quarter ends before they get the ball off. Falcons lead it 10-0. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Falcons lead it 10-0 here at the start of the second quarter in Tampa. Curt Menefee along with Brian Baldinger and Chip Carter. And speaking of Carter, Chris Carter's favorite show, The X-Files, tonight on Fox. A string of bizarre murders lead agents Mulder and Scully on a search for a predator with an appetite for human flesh. The X-Files, an all-new episode tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox. First play of the second quarter. Dilfer has time, gets rid of it. Out of bounds, incomplete. Pass intended for Jaquez Green. The second pass they've thrown to him this afternoon. A guy who's really been big and helped Trent Dilfer to his resurgence lately.
Well, the guy that it all falls on ultimately is the offensive coordinator, Mike Schuler. And one of the difficulties Mike's has right here in the middle is that they've got 2 starting tailbacks in Warrick Dunn and Mike Allstott with 1 football. So they start the game out trying to feed Warrick Dunn, getting him involved. And then once he gets involved, then they have to get Allstott involved. And so they kind of hen and peck a little bit back and forth before they find out who's hot and who has the better rhythm. By that point, you're already in the second quarter.
Well, right now they need to get Trent Dilfer involved. Dilfer only 1 of 5 for 6 yards. They need 9 here on the 3rd down. He's going deep for it all. And there's Jaquez Green. We talked about the big play combination between those 2. 47 yards, Dilfer to Green.
Talked to Kez before the game. He said, I tell Trent every week, just throw it. I don't care if I'm covered. I have faster speed when the ball's in the air. Working on Ray Buchanan, it's just straight speed. And now he has the extra burst right here when that ball is in the air. Ray Buchanan, week in a row.
Warrick Dunn with the carry. Bounces it outside. Down to the 37-yard line. A pickup of 3.
Jack Hez had his career best game last week with the 7 catches, well over 100 yards. He had the touchdown. You know, he had the 54-yarder. He had the 52-yard touchdown pass against New Orleans. He had a 62-yard touchdown pass. And there's very little move. It's just straight speed, and they're finding a way now to take shots down the field. And to win in the NFL today, you have to take the shots down the field.
That's the Green and Dilfer connection of 45 yards or more for the 3rd straight week. Warrick Dunn. A couple of stiff arms. Knocked out of bounds the 25-yard line by Marty Carter. A 12-yard gain for Warrick Dunn.
Warrick Dunn, you know, he's got a lot of that shake and bake in those shoes. He can make some people miss. You see a good job of picking up Jesse Tuggle right here. Nice job by Tony Mayberry of taking Tuggle out of the play. And then Allstott taking on Henri Crockett. And then the stiff arm from the little Mighty Mike. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. I asked Warrick Dunn if, you know, you got to run in the middle all the time. You're such a little guy. He goes, I don't like contact. I really don't. But I want to be a complete back. I know I got to stick it in there.
Well, he's alone in the backfield right now. Gets the carry. Dances his way for a gain of 5. Travis Hall on the tackle. Warrick Dunn maybe watching those Florida State Seminoles yesterday and getting motivated.
Yeah. Well, he really hasn't had many big days so far this year. In fact, he said, look, if I wanted to be a receiver, I would have gone to Louisiana Tech. This year, 43 receptions, most he's ever had. But, you know, Warrick Dunn is a guy that wants to be a running back, and he wants to carry the ball. He would like to carry it 20 times a game.
Well, they've got their Bubba backfield in there right now. Mike Allstott behind the tight end, Patrick Hape. Play action, and Jaquez Green on the end around. Doesn't fool the Falcons at all. Shane Dronette drops him for a loss. Boy, this weekend, everyone in the state of Florida talking about Florida and Florida State. And you look at the players in this game from both those two teams. Yesterday, you thought was like a pro game. This is why half those guys go to the NFL.
Well, you really, you know, watching that game yesterday, you're seeing Bobby Bowden and Steve Spurrier on the sideline. You know, it looked like an NFL game. A lot of those guys, you'll see Peter Warrick, you know, out here next year playing, you know, the same type of ability as Jaquez Green right there. So it was like a pro game yesterday.
On 3rd down, the Bucs need to get to the 15 for the 1st. Dilfer out of the shotgun, quick pass, complete. Bert Emanuel, the former Falcon, his first catch of the afternoon, and it's a 1st down for the Buccaneers.
It's been a long while for Bert Emanuel. Thus the celebration, working over here on Ronnie Brad or Michael Booker. Just an inside slant, nice touch by Dilfer on that ball. Patient with it, got it in front of him so he could run right into it and have a chance to do something with after the catch in order to pick up the 1st down.
They needed 7, he got 8. 1st down from the 14. Green in motion. Warrick Dunn hitting the backfield, still on his feet. Going to end up losing a yard, but could have lost more. Jesse Tuggle got a hand on him.
Now, Jesse Tuggle, you know, he's like Pokemon. You know, that Pokemon that, you know, he's like a pocket monster. Somehow, Warrick Dunn scooted underneath the pocket monster right there. In fact, both those guys could be, you know, characters in that cartoon.
Now, which one would Tuggle be then?
Well, Tuggle, I think, you know, I'm not good in the names.
I know about D'Artagnan and those guys, you know, 3 Musketeers.
I'm not awake at 7 in the morning when it's watching.
Trent Dilfer calls the timeout. Buccaneers driving, trailing by 10.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Turning Leaf Wine. Wine lovers know Turning Leaf. By Gap. By Wendy's Spicy Chicken. When you're hot, you're hot. And by Canon. So advanced, it's simple.
Raymond James Stadium. State of the art. Just his 2nd year in existence here in Tampa. They opened it up midway through last season. One of the most fun facilities in all the National Football League.
Well, they want it to be a loud facility to compete with those other NFC Central places like Detroit and Green Bay.
Dilfer to Green. Jaquez, 5 yards on the play. Coming up next, it's the 2nd half of our Fox doubleheader when Emmitt Smith returns to lead the Cowboys' fight to stay on top of the NFC East as they battle the Cardinals, plus other regional action. Except for those of you in Tampa, of course, it's all coming up next right here on Fox. A couple games for you next week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to visit Mike Holmgren in Seattle. Knowing a thing about him from the NFC Central days when he was with the Packers.
Got things turned around up there in Seattle. What a job by John Kitna.
Dilfer out of the shotgun on 3rd and 6. Pass complete. Going to be short of the first down. They needed to get to the 4. Carl Williams with the catch right at the 5-yard line.
That was a great throw by Trent Dilfer. And he's upset because he wants a chance to go for it on 4th down. Yeah, he was saying just to us on Friday that when we get the ball down here, we just need to score points. I mean, whether it's field goals or touchdowns, that's what Tony Dungy is thinking right now. Just get the field goal, get some sure points. But Trent Dilfer probably about a yard short of this first down.
So they bring on the rookie Martin Gramatica, who's been anything but automatica so far. He's missed 4 field goals in his rookie year. This guy was automatic when he was at Kansas State last year. No trouble on this one, and he gets the Buccaneers on the board. Tampa Bay gets to within a touchdown, trailing it now 10-3. Martin Gramatica's 24-yard field goal gets the Buccaneers on the board and continues their string of scoring in the second quarter this season. They've scored in the second period of every single game they've played in after getting in a hole in the first period usually. Mr. Versatility, Tim Dwight, deep to receive the kick.
Returned one last week, 99 yards, but it was called back because of an illegal shove in the back. But a dangerous time every time he touches it.
Deep in his own end zone, he brings it out. And Dwight gets outside. Stuck immediately by Brian Kelly at the 24-yard line. 30 yards on the return by Dwight.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon on the Nut Squad. Special teams, Floyd Young coming in here. Trying to make a dive right now for Tim Dwight. Got that right shoulder right there. Ended up getting that thing pulled out. Making a dive for Tim Dwight. Trying to shake things off right now.
Falcons begin first down from the 24. Byron Hanspard now in at running back. Gets the curse carry. Loses 2 yards. Derek Brooks on the tackle.
Yeah, right there. That's Anthony McFarland in there. Made the play that time. Their first-round draft pick out of LSU. I don't like it in the same mold. There's Derek Brooks right here, leading tackler a week ago. He gets in there along with McFarland. And Derek Brooks, when he sees things now, when he flashes and he decides to fire, wow, I mean, you talk about like a European sports car now from 0 to 60. You know, in a very short period of time.
Another one of those Florida State boys. Hanspard deep. Movement on the right side of the line by the Falcons. Looked like the right tackle, Ephraim Salam.
Ball start. 74 offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Ephraim Salam right here, the right tackle with a wide Warren Sapp and Chidi Ahanotu outside him. He just flinched a little bit. See, Warren Sapp actually moved his left arm to draw him off sides, and that's supposed to be an illegal procedure on Tampa. Surprisingly and amazingly, Tampa Bay's defense only 5 penalties all season against them.
Sets up 2nd and 17 for the Falcons. Bob Christian. Big collision between Christian and John Lynch. But Christian picked up 4 yards on the carry.
Now, one of the reasons why Tampa Bay is so effective in stopping the run is they get to what people call the 8-man box. The guy that does it is John Lynch. Now, here's John right here at a safety position. But he's going to cheat up right here, and there's nobody for Atlanta to account for him. I mean, it's just kind of a chess game. He's going to cheat up there to a linebacker position, and he'll end up making a play here. Boom. And you can hear the hit from up there.
Falcons 5 of 6 on 3rd downs today. They need to get to the 34 for the first. Chandler dumps it off to Christian, flags are down, and so is Christian. Brian Kelly with the tackle. Another holding call on Atlanta. Tampa Bay, of course, going to decline.
64 offense. That penalty is declined, 4th down.
And that's on Bob Hallen, the left guard. Buccaneers will take the incompletion and a 4th down for Atlanta.
You know, Atlanta's 2 scores have been a result of short fields. They got the interception by Robinson. They only had to drive 47 yards for the touchdown. Then they got the good punt return by Dwight leading to a field goal. That time, a lot of field to drive, and it looked like Tampa Bay's defense kind of stepped things up that drive.
Dan Straczynski on the punt to Carl Williams. The master of hang time, he gets it up. Williams with the return, only picks up a yard, but that gets him in the record books. He's now the leading punt returner in NFL history now that he's qualified. The MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 is teamed up with Fox Sports to provide you with this bird's eye view of today's NFL matchup. Since the program began in 1987, the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 have flown over 700,000 miles to provide aerial coverage of sporting events and television specials throughout the U.S. and Canada. Beautiful day to watch it, and a beautiful day for punt returner Carl Williams. He needed 75 punt returns in his career to qualify. That was his 75th. He's now the leading return man in NFL history, averaging nearly 14 yards a return. Dilfer on 1st down, Mike Allstott. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage before Jesse Tuggle tugs him down. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, first 3 possessions, they took a while to get going, but that last drive they finally got it moving and trying to do the same on this one.
Well, they got it moving because they found the big play with Jacquez Green that I think is there anytime they want it.
Green in motion now on 2nd down. They hand it off to Allstott, who finds some running room, gets to midfield, and the 1st down.
He's a nimble guy for a big guy.
Gain of 10 for Allstott, and the A-train's rolling.
First time he's gotten loose today. He's going to cut this ball back all the way behind the defense, but nice block by Jerry Wunsch, the right tackle, giving Allstott that seam to the backside. And Allstott's a guy like any other running back. It takes a while to get a rhythm, to find out where the cracks are and where the holes open up. This is not a fancy Buck running offense here. I mean, they pound things right between the tackles. They don't work the edges of the field. It's between the tackles.
There's that Bubba backfield again. Patrick Hape, the tight end, blocking for Allstott. Just lowers his head, plows his way for a gain of 4. Keith Brooking with the tackle.
I saw him covering that ball up with both hands, too, as he went into the middle. He said, you know, the problem with trying to protect the football is it takes away a lot of what you're trying to do with the stiff arm and trying to be elusive. And he wants to sacrifice his running style to protect the ball. But you turn over 3 times in a game, that's going to weigh on your mind throughout the game.
One of the things Tony Dungy likes to do is feed Dunn, feed Allstott, and see which one gets rolling first. Right now, it's Allstott. He's alone in the backfield on 2nd down. Falcons show blitz. Dilfer. Pass incomplete, intended for the tight end, Dave Moore.
Dave Moore was a nice target for Dilfer last week, and David likes to catch the football. I mean, right now, he's basically a blocking back at tight end, but he caught a touchdown pass last week. Very little room to slide that ball in to Dave Moore that time. Well covered on the play. Just a crossing pattern off the bootleg fake. He said he put on about 15 pounds this year because in this offense, he's used primarily as a blocker, and he's got to handle defensive ends every play one-on-one. He doesn't get much help out there on the edge.
You see Warwick Dunn spread out to the right side, still in the backfield. With the Buccaneers spreading it out with 4 receivers. Dilfer, pass caught, Carl Williams.
Dilfer says that I'm having a lot more fun, and you see the emotion out of him, and that was a great read by Dilfer that time. To stay in the pocket, not to panic. He scanned the whole field and then found his safety valve, Williams. Watch Dilfer step up into this pocket here. Great protection, but a lot of poise in that ball, and a nice accurate throw away from Eli Williams right there.
Carl Williams, just his 9th catch of the season, and missed the last 3 weeks with a foot injury. Gets 8 yards in the first down. Dilfer going for it all towards the end zone, and Jacquez Green bumping and pushing there with Ray Buchanan and no flag.
Well, there was a lot of contact on that play. And Jacquez Green went away from Buchanan. You're going to see this is just foot speed right now. Buchanan knows that it's just a straight fly. Does the right hand right here pull Jacquez down? Right hand in the back of Green looked like it slowed him down, giving the advantage right there to Buchanan. Just showed it on the big screen here, and you heard the crowd moan.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Here comes the blitz. Warwick Dunn. Out across the 30, runs over Marty Carter, the one-time Buccaneer. Back to the pass play.
Well, here's the end zone look right here. As Ray Buchanan get the right hand on Jacquez Green to slow him down a little bit. You can't tell right there, but it looked like he gave him a little nudge. And that's a savvy move from a veteran Pro Bowler a year ago. And I think he did get away with it.
3rd down. Buccaneers need to get to the 24 for the first. Dilfer out of the shotgun, little shovel pass. And Warwick Dunn gets exactly the 5 yards they need. A first down for the Bucs. A first down for the Bucs, maybe.
Now they're going to bring out the sticks here to measure.
He needed to get to the 24-yard line, and he fell right there on top of it, but they're spotting the ball just inside the 25. So looking at where they spot the ball, he may be just a bit short.
Yeah, short. Last time they were short on 4th down, they kicked the field goal. Last guy that made the play last time was Travis Hall, defensive tackle right here. He's got a free left hand this week. First time in about 8 weeks. His hand is out of a cast. It's nice being able to get 2 hands on a tackle to bring him down.
You see from the replay, it looks like they spotted it just a bit short. Nonetheless, it brings up a 4th down.
This is all-stop territory here.
And they've got 3 tight ends in, all-stop deep in the eye. Dilfer on the keeper. Not much question about that one.
Well, I tell you, Dilfer got a good running start from the quarterback position that time.
One of the things the Falcons had done with those first 2 scores on the first 2 possessions was take the crowd out. This crowd coming alive now.
Watch Trent Dilfer. He takes a step back to get some momentum, and then he comes forward. That's a good push by Tony Mayberry in the middle, the Pro Bowl center a year ago. Good push against those defensive tackles of Dronette and Travis Hall.
Buccaneers not going to get it off before the 2-minute warning sounds.
That's a 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning.
They're at the 24, down by a touchdown, trailing 10-3. Coming up next, it's the second half of our Fox doubleheader when Emmitt Smith returns to lead the Cowboys' fight to stay on top in the NFC East as they battle the Cardinals. Plus other regional action, except for those of you in Tampa. It's all coming up next, right here on Fox. And the Cowboys have dominated that series of late, with the exception of the wild card game last year.
And that's when it all counts. But Arizona got some life last week with that win against Detroit.
Buccaneers playing with some life. Pass complete to Mike Allstott. Flag is down.
Wow. That flag came out. Yeah, Bernie Kukar threw that in there.
And that's a holding against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, no doubt about where that flag was going. Came flying out of the pocket.
Holding, 73 offense. That's a 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the Buccaneers' first penalty of the game. They don't get many of them during the year.
Here's Frank right here. He's working against Travis Hall. 1-on-1. He got his hands outside on Travis Hall, and Hall, who we just showed before, without a cast inside right now, has got both hands working. For a guy who's left-handed and a left hand in a cast, it's been a tough 2 months for him.
Jacquez Green in motion. Falcons showing blitz. Here comes Keith Brooking. Flags down again. Dilfer in trouble. Scrambles. Run out of bounds by Patrick Kearney, but let's see what the flags are.
Well, I think Keith Brooking here is going to cheat up into the gap and is going to catch Tony Mayberry.
Another holding call.
Yeah. An awkward situation when they come into the blitz. You're going to see Brooking coming right into the gap here. And the timing is that as Mayberry snaps the ball, he's already by him.
61 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's tough on Tony Mayberry, but give Keith Brooking credit right there for timing that blitz. That's what made the play. And the Buccaneers, who were in solid field position, not just for a score, for at least a field goal here before the half, now in a tough predicament.
Well, they came into this game with only 44 penalties on the year. Only Arizona had fewer with 41. They've got penalties on back-to-back plays now. And it sets up a 1st and 30. Dunn out to the right. Over the middle, intended for the tight end, Dave Moore, but incomplete.
When Trent Dilfer misses, he misses high. That last week, he threw a 35-yard touchdown pass to Moore in the same play. Well, he's got Dave Moore wide open in the middle of the field. Nice pump fake to Warwick Dunn on the outside. Open things up in the middle. Trent will tell you, he'll tell you all about that throw right there. Where Davey Moore had room to run with that ball, too, if he could have been able to jump up into the sky to bring it down.
That's been their big play. You mentioned they scored last week on Kansas City. They did the same play and scored against Minnesota as well. Dilfer. What a block by Warwick Dunn. Pass complete. Burt Emanuel with the catch. But that all made possible by the block from Warwick Dunn, the little running back, picking up Keith Brooking, the big linebacker. 17 yards on the play.
Well, they put Dunn in awkward situations a lot of times. Here's Keith Brooking coming off the side. Gonna do a little gymnastics flip right there, allowing Dilfer to find the opening. Nice throw by Dilfer here. Feeding it right to Emanuel. Nice position. Setting up a makeable 3rd down.
They need to get to the 14 for the first.
We are reviewing the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
So we've got an instant replay here.
Well,
whether or not it was a completion to Burt Emanuel is the question.
This wasn't challenged by any coaches in the final 2 minutes of the half or the end of the game. Certainly that's challenged by the upstairs replay booth.
And this week in the replay booth, they've got Jerry Markbright, longtime NFL veteran referee.
Jerry up there right now. He was looking at the same replays we're looking at to see if Emanuel came down with the ball. You know, we're talking to Tony Dungy about instant replay. He was surprised to find out that really the referees only look at the same looks that we get. So here it is. We get to see Warwick Dunn block again. Looked like it was a catch from there.
I don't see where the question is there.
Now, did he have possession of the ball when he hit the ground? Can't see it from that angle.
Doesn't look like the ball ever came out, though.
No.
Ball hit him right in the breadbasket, as they say, and he just rolled with it. Didn't look like it came out at all, but they want to make sure that it was a completion here.
Well, it's kind of interesting here. Curt, to this date, 107 plays have been reviewed this year. 31 of them have been overturned.
That's about 1/3 of the plays.
About 1/3 of them. You know, going in, this wasn't going to fix the problem. It wasn't intended to do it. You know, they always talked about it was going to be the big ticket items. It was going to be the Vinny Testaverde play against Seattle last year in the Meadowlands. Warwick Dunn doesn't mind us showing this replay again. Shows his blocking ability. And that's tough. That's tough. When
well, there you do see the ball is loose.
The play stands as called. The completed catch.
So it is a 17-yard completion.
Yep.
You see why they were reviewing it there on the last replay, but good job done by all. Buccaneers now 3rd and 13. Ball on the 27-yard line. They need the 14 for the first. Less than a minute to go in the first half, trailing by 7.
See if the Falcons come after Dilfer with the blitz here on this 3rd and long.
He's working out of the shotgun.
Yeah, they are. They're coming.
Here they come.
2 guys.
He gets the protection and has the running room. Gets the first down and then some. Inside the 10-yard line, Ronnie Bradford brings it down at the 8. Trent Dilfer, 19 yards on the scramble.
And Dilfer caught him in that safety blitz and linebacker blitz, stepped up beautifully. When you step up in a pocket, it pressures the defense. You see, coming from the outside, you see Ronnie Bradford, and now the race is on. Chuck Smith is in chase, and Bradford. Dilfer always likes to think of himself as an athlete. Doesn't tuck that ball away, though. Now he does. As Bradford gets close, he puts that ball away. Nice play by Dilfer.
19 yards on the run, and it's first and goal from the 8. Hit, brought down. Shane Dronette, his second sack of the afternoon.
I think Dilfer was still tired from the run.
Buccaneers,
didn't really have the strength to step up that time around Dronette.
And Shane Dronette just got him with one hand as the Buccaneers called timeout. 27 seconds to play before halftime. And coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. It's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. 27 seconds left to go. Curt Menefee, Brian Baldinger, and Chip Carter here with you in Tampa Bay. Buccaneers offense, the last 2 possessions, has looked the best they have all day. The Falcons just the opposite, scored on their first 2 possessions. A touchdown and then a field goal, and since then has done nothing.
Well, you know, one of the things that Tampa Bay can do, because of the talent they have at wide receiver, they can really spread the field very well. We bring Dave Moore out of the offense this time, and they're going to go with their 4 wide receiver package. And Warrick Dunn out of the backfield, you know, his best year ever catching the football. He's got 5 receivers spread the field. He's trying to find the isolated matchup right now.
4 receivers in for the Buccaneers. Warrick Dunn headbutts Eugene Robinson, gets maybe a yard. Buccaneers call their final timeout.
Well, that's a good call right there with the 1 timeout remaining. A chance to, you know, maybe spring Warrick Dunn as you spread the field, just run the simple draw. Mike right here calling a play downstairs to Clyde Christensen, the offensive quarterback coach with Trent Dilfer. We'll talk about it down there right now with Sean King and Eric Zier.
The Buccaneers have had the ball 12 minutes and 10 seconds in the second quarter.
Now, almost the opposite of what they had in the first quarter.
Dilfer, a big reason behind that as well, their running game.
Well, you know, Dilfer is 31 yards passing on this drive, but it was the long run on 3rd down, 19 yards, that put him in position here to score. Really what that run did was it got back to 2 back-to-back holding calls that sent the Buccaneers back.
And it gives them a chance on 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. Warrick Dunn spread out to the left. Dilfer running out of the shotgun.
Nice target right here. Dave Moore in the middle of the field.
He looks that way into the end zone, thrown high for Dave Moore, incomplete. You call the right guy, but Dilfer once again with a high ball.
Nice coverage by the Falcons, though. Ronnie Bradford sitting right on Dave Moore, and Trent threw that ball high. Purposely that time, Moore, the taller receiver, went up for it. Here's Dave Moore working inside right here. He's going to have a little trouble getting open. A lot of contact on that play by Bradford. Dilfer was patient on him. Nice play of finishing by Bradford and Eli Williams. Taking the legs out from underneath of Dave Moore.
A 26-yard attempt this time from Martin Gramatica. Out of the hold of Mark Royals. And Grammatica's 2 for 2 today. Joe DeCamillis, the Falcons special team coach, a little frustrated there. Was hoping for another block.
Well, I think the Falcons got to be a little frustrated, period. I mean, they got a couple of holding calls, sent the Buccaneers back, and on 3rd and long, you let Dilfer run 19 yards. Put themselves in position for the score and at least the field goal.
Coming up on the Visa halftime report, remember, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from all around the league. And the Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats, all on the Visa halftime report.
Well, the Buccaneers that time, it took 16 plays to drive the field. I think it's this defense coming out for the second half for the Buccaneers should be well rested. And, you know, they have the ability to turn the heat on the Falcons.
Well, the Buccaneers may be discussing a squib kick or something just to kind of run these last 8 seconds off the clock, you think?
You definitely don't kick the ball to Tim Dwight in this situation. This guy is a game breaker every time he can touch it. You saw in the one return he had today, Curt, he brought it out 5 yards deep.
And he missed by one man of breaking it all the way.
Yeah, we talked to him yesterday. Great kid. And he said, you know, he loves to return kicks. He said he watches everybody in the league return kicks. And the guy that he really would like to pattern his game by is David Palmer in Minnesota, because David, you know, has control of his speed, knows when to kind of stop and start, slow things down and wait for things to open up.
Grammatica set for the kickoff. Does just that. Squib kick right down the middle. It's going to be taken up short, and they toss it back to Dwight. They want to get it in his hands, and look at that. Caught from behind. Brian Kozlowski picked it up and gave it to Tim Dwight because he knows he's the fastest guy on the field, and that was their best chance to do something, but he did get caught. That's the end of the first half with the score of Falcons 10, Buccaneers 6. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with a Visa halftime report after these messages.
The Visa halftime report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
And welcome back to the Visa halftime with the full house here in Los Angeles. Some of you are watching this contest between Atlanta and Tampa Bay.
Chris Chandler, Trent Dilfer talking about what it's going to be like when those two number 12s are retired. Well, not a good start here. Tampa Bay, Trent Dilfer's passes bounce off hands of Ward Dunn, picked off by Eugene Robinson. Then out of the backfield, wide receiver Tim Dwight lines up as a running back, takes the sweep, scores Atlanta 7-0. And now at the half, it's 10-6 Falcons over Bucs.
Brett Favre hoping to snap a 3-game losing streak for the Pack.
Gus Ferrato out of the eye, hands off. Cedric Urban takes it, goes 2 yards to the right. Detroit 7, Green Bay 0. Then watch the great job by Favre. Looking left, looking down the middle, feels the pressure, then nice touch pass to Dorsey 11, something Brett hasn't been able to do because of his thumb. But this is an excellent throw, excellent catch, all the way down to the 15-yard line. It's Detroit 7, Green Bay 3. Now, Farrat. Jermaine Crowell into the scene, 14-yard touchdown, and then interference, you call it. Bryant Westbrook, the Lions, interferes with Antonio Freeman. Freeman should have caught that ball for a touchdown. He did not, and now you see that the score at the half after two-point conversion was failed. 11 scores, they don't make it.
Others are watching the speed of Shimanga Biakabatuka.
Yes, they are. Very good call, JB. Tim Biakabatuka then takes the Panthers this play for the first time. He has been out for 3 games down to the left sideline. Then Steve Berline up the middle, Tim Biakabatuka, touchdown run. There it is. Down. Score is 17-3. Panthers over the Browns.
All right, and in this contest here, each of the last 5 meetings have been decided by 3 points if you were all knotted at 10. The Jets, Ray Lucas, 10 of 11, 80 yards, and a rushing TD on top in that contest. Boy, the Colts have scored on their first 5 possessions, spanking the Eagles 27-0. And the Seahawks have come back to take the lead over the Chiefs. Ricky Waters, 2 touchdown runs in that one. And the Titans with Steve McNair doing it on the ground, 2 touchdowns, accounting for the difference, and a touchdown lead over the Steelers. Atlanta at Tampa Bay, Chris.
You know, it's high time now that Mike Alstott comes back into this game plan for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know if they're feeling a little bit uncomfortable after his 3 fumbles a week ago, but this is also now a very important game for Trent Dilfer, who has established himself the last 2 weeks. After getting benched, he's played much, much better, but at home against the Atlanta Falcons, a game this team has to win if they're going to remain in the hunt.
Yeah, you know, Atlanta has done a nice job taking a page from the Tampa Bay offense, running 10 of 13 plays in a row on the ground. And, you know, when you're lining up Tim Dwight, he's about the only guy that could beat the Tampa Bay defense to the corner. And the all-important third down stat, 5 of 7 for the Atlanta Falcons, moving the chains.
Yeah, this is not the same Atlanta Falcon team we saw last year. Chris Chandler, the quarterback for the Falcons, has been out. Doesn't look like Chris or Howie. They had the same continuity in their passing attack. If you flop it over, Dilfer back after being benched for a game. In the last 2 games, 5 touchdown passes. And, folks, he's done it by down the field, deep. He hit Burt Emanuel. I mean, actually, he hit Jaquez Green deep today, but they've got to do more of that, I think. What?
Chimanga Biakabatuka?
He said it.
Visa halftime will continue. We'll take you to the second half of your game right after this.
Here in Tampa, the Falcons scored on their first 2 possessions, but now it's 10-6 at halftime. Our Chip Carter caught up with Falcons head coach Dan Reeves.
All right, thanks a lot. I'm standing here with Atlanta head coach Dan Reeves. And coach, your game plan coming in this afternoon was to hold on to the football and run the football. You were able to do both of those effectively here in the first half.
Well, in the first quarter. In the second quarter, they kind of dominated it. Our third down pass defense wasn't very good, and we can't let them convert that many third downs and have any chance to win. So we got to improve on defense there, and we got to continue to hopefully run the football and not have the penalties. The one time they stopped us, we had a penalty to set us back, so we can't have those kind of mistakes.
All right, coach, thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half. So a tale of two quarters for Dan Reeves here in the first half, Curt.
All Falcons in the first quarter, all Bucs after that means it's close at halftime. We'll be back with a second half kickoff right after this. Curt Menefee and Brian Baldinger with you in Tampa. And Baldy, Coach Dan Reeves called it a tale of two quarters. No truer words have ever been said, have they?
Well, it really was. You know, Tampa Bay found themselves down 10-0 in the game. In the second quarter, though, they really took this game over. They took control of the game, both the offense and the defense. And I think Trent Dilfer has been efficient so far, but he's missed a couple of throws that could make a bigger difference here in the first half.
Well, it started out with Trent Dilfer actually making a mistake on the first possession. Really, it wasn't his fault, though, because he hits Warwick Dunn. Dunn can't hold on to it. Eugene Robinson does.
Well, that led to this first touchdown here by Timmy Dwight, who lined up at running back. Got a good block by Bob Christian to go 10 yards for that touchdown. And then certainly Jaquez Green for the third week in a row, getting deep behind the secondary for the deep throw. And there's Bert Emanuel. Good timing with Trent Dilfer over the middle.
Look at the first half stats, and you talk about your tale of two quarters. Just look at time of possession. That's all you need to see. Just the opposite from one period to the other.
Well, the Bucs had two drives in the first quarter, both of them 3 plays and out. And then the second quarter, they really took control of this game. Good balance, running the football, and Dilfer mixing it up, throwing deep, and then some possession throws in there as well.
And that's why you get the yardage difference. Nothing in the first quarter, 152 in the second for the Bucs. The Falcons just the opposite, 89 and then 8. But the Falcons will get the ball to start off the second half here. Martin Gramatica kicking off to Mr. Excitement, Timmy Dwight.
Looking up into a very bright sun as well that just poked itself out through the clouds here.
Last week, or their last game, 2 weeks ago against Jacksonville, Dwight ran the second half kickoff 99 yards for a score, but it was brought back due to a penalty. He takes this one from his 8. They don't let him get outside. Rodney Barber with the tackle. Down to the field where Chip Carter had a chance to speak with the Bucs head coach during the break.
Thanks. I'm standing here with Coach Tony Dungy, the Buccaneers coach. You're able to move the ball a little more effectively in the second quarter, but you've got to start finishing off drives with 6 points instead of field goals.
You're right. They're blitzing us a lot, trying to take our run game away. We just have to be a little sharper on our blocking rules and see if we can pop our backs into the secondary.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Curt.
Thank you, Chip. Falcons begin on offense. Byron Hanspart starts the second half at tailback. Gets the handoff. No running room. Chidi Ahanatu, the first guy to grab him. Buccaneer defensive line just spread him out, and he couldn't go anywhere.
Well, I thought they started to build a rhythm in the second quarter, and I think it's going to be very difficult for this Falcon team to hold off the rush of this Buccaneer defense right now and their ability to get off blocks. The good thing about Tampa Bay is these guys do not stay blocked. That man right there is the master of it, too.
Warren Sapp. Falcons on 2nd and 9, 3 receivers in the game. Little dump pass from Chandler to Christian. Bob Christian with a nice footwork gets the first down all the way out to the 43-yard line. Brian Kelly on the tackle, but 17 yards on the play for the Falcons.
Well, right now, the Falcons are sucker punching the Buccaneers with this middle draw right here. The middle screen. You can see Bob Christian right here. He's going to weave his way in the middle, wait for that thing to open up, draw Culpepper and Sapp to him. Now he breaks a couple of tackles. Gotten some mileage out of this play today. Rather than screen outside where Tampa Bay's speed can see it and race to it, they're hitting right at him. And that's what you should do with the team with speed. Go right at him.
First down from the 43. Play action. Chandler incomplete. Intended for Tim Dwight. And he had Dwight in the open, but Dwight couldn't haul it in.
Chandler would like to have that throw back. He needed to do is set his feet on that and then throw it. A good play action fake off the bootleg here that gets all the Buccaneers. You know, Buccaneers play more zone defense than anybody, and Dwight running free right between the linebackers and safeties. Chris is looking to Tim like, you got to make that catch, and Tim is saying, yeah, you got to make a little better throw.
Both guys rolling to their right on that one. Dwight at the bottom of your screen on second down. Byron Hanspard fights his way for a gain of 3. Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp. 2 guys probably headed to the Pro Bowl for the Buccaneers this year.
Well, wherever you see Sapp, you see Brooks right there. Brooks is always to Sapp's side. When Brooks sees it now, he's going to be upset with missing that tackle because he had him in the backfield. But you always see Warren Sapp to the same side as Derek Brooks. You see them on both sides of the defense, but they'll always be in tandem together. It's kind of funny. They both were drafted in the first round in '95. You got 1A and 1B stacked right behind each other.
Crowd getting into it on third down. Atlanta needs to get to the Tampa Bay 47-yard line. With time. Winslow Oliver doesn't get there. Crosses midfield, but Derek Brooks got him short of the first down.
Tampa Bay has somewhat of what you'd call a rubber band defense. They will stretch, they don't break, and they keep everything in front of them. That time they knew exactly how far Atlanta had to go for the first down. They kept it in front. Right there, Derek Brooks. He had the 17 tackles last week, and he makes a lot of his tackles in pass coverage.
Carl Williams back to receive the punt from Dan Straczynski. Calls for the fair catch at about the 7-yard line. 44 yards on the punt from Straczynski. Bucs first possession of the second half.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
Nothing like Central Florida in November.
Nice place to come to do some football.
Buccaneers with their first possession of the second half. Warwick Dunn picks up a couple of yards before Marty Carter gets him. Thursday, start your Thanksgiving with a Fox NFL special as fierce NFC Central rivals collide. The Bears battle the surprising first-place Lions Thanksgiving Day right here on Fox, and it all starts with a blockbuster pregame show at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific.
There's nothing better than sitting back on that couch Thanksgiving with Pat and John doing the game, eating about 3 helpings of the turkey and the stuffing, falling asleep, waking up, catching the end of the game.
Mike Allstott all alone in the backfield. Dilfer gets it off, pass complete. That's John Davis, the tight end, just his second catch of the season.
Jim Miller making his second start for the Bears. What an impressive outing last week against the Minnesota Vikings. Chance to win that game. Boy, finding Marcus Robinson all over the field. Nice debut.
Dilfer now 10 of 18 in the game, 107 yards passing, third down.
Dan Reeves talked about getting off the field on third down, shutting Trent Dilfer down.
Pass high and incomplete, and so they do it. 3 and out for the Buccaneers, and Dilfer's down.
Yeah, he took a shot to the left knee on a blitz. I think it was Brooking that came. Remember, Eric Zier is already out with rib injuries. Leaves Sean King, the second-round pick from Tulane. That is the backup quarterback today.
Zier's not even dressed this afternoon, hasn't been for the past couple of weeks.
Now remember, Trent Dilfer, you're going to see here, there's the blitz of, oh, that's right there, that's Chuck Smith coming inside of Paul Gruber. Dilfer immediately falls on the knee.
Sean King, you mentioned the second-round pick out of Tulane, has not taken a snap in the National Football League, is warming up right now for what looks like his first action. Trent Dilfer limped off the sideline under his own power, but they're working on him. He's already got that knee braced up. Took a pop from Chuck Smith and seems to be in obvious pain right now. 4th down situation for the Bucs. Mark Royals to Tim Dwight.
He's got room
from his 36. Takes the long way home, brought down after a 5-yard return. 50-yard punt for Royals, but the concern for the Bucs is quarterback Trent Dilfer.
And here's the injury to Trent Dilfer. That's Chuck Smith right there. Going to run a game with Shane Durnett. Is going to come free. Going to put his helmet right on the knee of Trent Dilfer. Trent grabs that knee right away. The thing was braced, though. He's got a brace on that knee, and it might have saved him right there.
He's standing on the sideline, has been limping, but looks like he's going to try and stay in the game.
He's been durable and tough throughout his career here.
1st down from the Falcons, from the 41. Byron Hanspard picks up 4 yards. Shelton Quarles with the tackle. The Buccaneers say that Dilfer will return. He's got a left knee sprain, and that he does plan on going back on the field and trying it.
Well, he had started 70 straight games for the Buccaneers up until the time that he was benched in favor of Eric Zier, and that broke that string. But he hasn't missed any games because of an injury.
Right at the top of your screen, Mathis at the bottom on 2nd and 7. Chandler going for Mathis, incomplete. Down to the field, and Chip Carter, what's going on down there?
Thanks a lot, Curt. The Buccaneers are fighting injuries right now. Center Tony Mayberry has a low back strain. He may come back in the 2nd half. Doggins is at center. Tight end Dave Moore has a partly bruised shoulder, so Patrick Hape has taken his place. And the report on Trent Dilfer, just a sprained left knee. He will be back in the ball game here. Curt.
All right, Chip, and remember in the 1st half they lost cornerback Floyd Young, who is their nickel back with a sprained shoulder. Speaking in tongues here today.
Well, Chandler's favorite target at 3rd down this year has been Terrence Mathis, and he hasn't been able to find him yet today.
They need the 49-yard line of Tampa Bay, but not even close. Chandler fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage. Brad Culpepper gets it.
Just the threat of the Tampa Bay rush on 3rd down as a quarterback makes you pull out quicker than you want. Hey, Chris is just in a hurry to get out of there right now, because he knows that this guy right here is a fire breather. He's trying to beat him back there to get set up. Sometimes just the threat of a pass rush right now will make a quarterback get a little jumpy, and that's what happened to Chris.
Falcons stonewalled after their first 2 possessions. Bring on Dan Struzinski for his 3rd punt of the afternoon.
Oh, hold it!
Another high one. This one rolls into the end zone for a touchback. 55 yards on the punt from Struzinski.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the all-new 2000 Pontiac Bonneville. Luxury with attitude. By Taco Bell. By the U.S. Navy. Navy, let the journey begin. And by Gateway. Connect with us.
Trent Dilfer is back in the game for the Buccaneers. They start from their own 20. Dilfer, pass complete, right downfield to Jaquez Green. Hey, if you love a good scare, check out Fox. Tuesday night, it's the network television premiere of Scream. Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, and Drew Barrymore star in the blockbuster thriller Scream on a special night, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
I tell you, the person that puts the scare in anybody's defense right now is Jaquez Green. Hitting that little dig route right there sets him up for a deep throw later on.
Well, he got 9 yards. Mike Allstott gets back to the line of scrimmage. Pelham McDaniels on the tackle.
Tackled by number 77, Pelham McDaniels.
Well, Trent Dilfer, I see him limping around back there right now. He's been real mobile today. He scrambled for a big 3rd down. He likes to think of himself as a good athlete. Always talking in terms of golf and all that kind of stuff. But you see the 20 rush yards in, 2 of them for 1st downs.
Yeah, he's going to be a little bit limited right now the way he's limping around. But on 3rd and 1,
now
they've got the horses in the backfield to do it with Allstott and Dunn. Play action. Dilfer scrambles, can't get away, and brought down for the sack. Patrick Kearney. The rookie first-round pick of the Falcons out of Virginia.
They talked about the lack of mobility because of that injury to Dilfer. That showed it, but it wasn't a real bright pattern here. They're only going to run Carl Williams. This is a one-play route right here. It's a hit or miss on this 3rd down. As everybody, you see Kelly here get sucked up to it. But Patrick Kearney able to chase Dilfer down because of that limited mobility. It was a one-receiver route that time to Carl Williams, and he was well covered.
Mark Royals on for his 3rd punt to Tim Dwight. That's a short one, shanked. The Buccaneers are going to down it. Falcons will start in Buccaneer territory, 27 yards on the punt. Trent Dilfer and the Bucs down by 4.
Talking about the short game right here, the Falcons start this drive in Buccaneer territory. First 2 times they've done that today, they've been able to score points.
They started from the 47. Chandler up top, complete. That's Terrence Mathis, his first catch of the afternoon. Falcons have only had 5 possessions all day. The first 2, as you mentioned, in Buccaneer territory, and they've scored on each of them.
Yeah, right here. And they started inside their territory and able to put together good drives. When they've had to drive the field, they have not been able to do it. And that was the first catch of the day, that last reception by Terrence Mathis. And Mathis is a valuable guy against the zone defense because he's so crafty trying to find the open hole. I look for Chandler to try to find him a few more times here in this drive.
He got 6 yards on that one. From the 41, Ken Oxendine bulls his way down to the 36-yard line. A gain of 5 on a Falcon first down.
It's like a little change-up on this drive by the Falcons. They have been starting every drive with the running game. They started this one with the pass to Terrence Mathis. Then they ran Oxendine, and Oxendine at times shows flashes, Curt. We've seen him a bunch this year. He's 230 pounds.
And the change-up, they started the second half with the speedster Byron Hansbrough back there. Then they bring in the power guy, Ken Oxendine. He gets the first down. And the next carry. Still on his feet, out to the 30-yard line. A gain of 6. John Lynch on the tackle.
I tell you, effective job up front. Let's give a little credit to Ephraim Salam and Bob Hallam and Robbie Tobeck on that right side because they were able to push that time against McFarland and Sapp. You see McFarland's right in here. And Sapp, good push right there, taking Sapp out of it. And we have not called Warren Sapp's name here today. Just one tackle all afternoon so far.
Falcons doing a good job of mixing it up today. Right in motion. Chandler feels the heat and brought down. Derek Brooks with the sack. His first sack of the season.
All day long, Chris Chandler has been able to get rid of the ball quickly, and he wanted to here. You're going to see here the blitz right here by Brooks coming in. Chris wanted to get rid of that ball. He knew Brooks was coming, and he held on to it. He hesitated, and it was too late. We've seen Brooks a couple of times today put pressure from that linebacker position on the blitz.
Falcons need to get to the 26 for the first. 3 receivers in. Chandler threw it behind Winslow Oliver. Did not get the completion.
And the sack by Derek Brooks saved the Bucs that series because the Falcons were getting into field goal range. This is going to be a field position game in the second half. Right here, Straczynski can put this ball inside the 10-yard line and play right into the Falcons' hands the way they like to play defense here.
Carl Williams back to take the punt. Straczynski's job to get it up and bring it down inside the 20, and he is as good as there is in the league at that.
Got a good one.
Right at the 16-yard line. You know, this game, Baldy, just the opposite of the last time these two teams met back in '97 in the Georgia Dome. Mike Allstott had what's still his career-long 47-yard touchdown run. The Buccaneers went on top 7-0. The Falcons tried to come back. Chris Chandler, 30 yards to now Buck Burt Emanuel, tied it at 7 apiece. But Warwick Dunn had a touchdown catch and that touchdown run, and the Buccaneers went on to win it 31-10.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting looking at those highlights right there. You have not seen that from the Bucs running backs today. Any kind of a breakout run from Allstott or Dunn. That's what's missing here.
Well, Dunn's alone in the backfield and gets the carry. Wrapped up by Ed Jasper at the line of scrimmage.
Warwick Dunn asking for help here. He looks like he's a little banged up. Warwick Dunn only averaging a little over 3 yards a carry this year. You know, first 2 years in this league, Curt, I mean, he was averaging 4.3 yards a carry, and he'd have a number of breakout runs, and you never knew where they were going to come. He was sort of like squeezing Jello. You know, he'd come into the pile, and somewhere he'd come out free. And you haven't seen that from this year, and I don't know if he can't make the guys miss right now, if he's getting too beat up in this league because of his size, but you haven't seen the breakaway runs.
Well, he's alone in the backfield once again. Allstott's in the slot. And there's Warwick Dunn. And he finds some room to break out this time. Picks up 10 yards, close to the first down. Warwick Dunn, one of the things they've done with Dunn is line him up in a lot of different slots. And he's been taking a beating, but he's also had to learn a lot of different positions.
Well, you see they spread the field here. No tight ends in the game. Just 5-on-4 inside and let Dunn pick his holes. And that's really what they'd like to do. They try to create games for him, learning a whole new position.
He gained 11 that time. First down and 10 from the 26. 3 straight plays to Dunn. Warwick Dunn picks up 2 yards. We pick up James Brown in Los Angeles for an NFL update. JB?
Curt, and what you'll see, take a look at Corey Bradford here on the receiving end of this Brett Favre pass. A quick slant that Bradford had to adjust to a fade. Great one-handed snag. That put him up by 1. 2-point conversion to Bradford again, and it's now Green Bay by 3. Back to Curt and Brian.
Well, the Packers fighting hard to stay in this NFC Central, which is just bunched up as usual between every team here.
Oh, and it's going to stay that way. I don't think one team is going to separate in this division.
Dilfer. Quick pass incomplete. Burt Emanuel, the intended receiver. Ronnie Bradford had nice coverage on Emanuel.
Yeah, and the Falcons have been able to get pressure on Dilfer today and knock him off stride just a little bit. They got a good push up the middle that time, and this offensive line had protected Dilfer very well the last couple of weeks. You see Chuck Smith collapses from one side along with Archambault, and Dilfer not able to step up into the pocket that time.
He seemed upset there. Maybe Emanuel, someone ran the wrong route, or things didn't work out exactly like he planned.
Or Michael Booker pushing Emanuel in the back.
Third down, they need to get to the 36-yard line for the first. Dropped. Warwick Dunn.
Well, Trent told us in this offense that converting third downs, it's a long, hard day if you've got to consistently convert, you know, third and longs. Right now, Atlanta doing a good job of keeping him in those situations and getting him off the field.
Well, suddenly this has turned into a punter's duel. And you get the feeling with a guy like Tim Dwight, giving him as many opportunities as you can, he might break one at any moment.
Well, he's got a chance to return this one.
From his 19. Loses a couple of yards. Excellent punt coverage by the Buccaneers.
Don McLaughlin.
And Rabi Abdullah. 53 yards on the punt by Royals, setting it all up. Yep. Dilfer obviously frustrated about what's going on with his offense right now.
Well, pressure up front that he hasn't seen in a couple of weeks. Chuck Smith right there. Again, Chuck Smith wrapping him up. And a lot of Chuck Smith right there. You know? Hey, Chuck Smith bumped that to his highlight reel.
They get to know each other pretty well here. Crowd trying to get the Buccaneer defense going. First down for the Falcons from the 18. Dwight in motion. Ken Oxendine. Out to the 20. A pickup of 2.
Now, in the NFC Central, Curt, you know, you go to Green Bay, you go to Minnesota, Detroit in that Silver Dome when it's packed. I mean, very difficult places to play, and they've got that going on here in Tampa Bay. In fact, we were talking with Chidi Ahanotu, and he said it's like putting an extra gallon of gas in the tank, and they can use that right about right now. Very difficult to audible, very difficult to communicate signals, and it gives that defense a little bit of extra juice.
Oxendine deep in the eye for the Falcons. Chandler to Tim Dwight. Gets enough for the first down, pushed out of bounds right at the 30-yard line. Give him 10 yards.
And that'll quiet you down. Tim Dwight, nice timing route right there. As you know, Tampa Bay right now, they have Brian Kelly playing that left corner in favor of Donnie Abraham. Kelly gave him a lot of room that time. Abraham normally the starter at the left corner. Brian Kelly, who started last week because of Rondé Barber had an injury to the leg, and so he's played both sides here the last couple of weeks.
Barber is playing, but he's not 100%, and they also lost Floyd Young, so they're hurting for depth right now at that corner slot. That's going to be the last play of the third quarter. Falcons still lead at 10-6. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after this word from your local Fox station. As we look at downtown Tampa, Curt Menefee and Brian Baldinger, Mr. Uptown is what we like to call him. And I tell you, the first quarter was all Falcons offense. Second quarter, all Buccaneer offense. Third quarter,
no offense.
Yeah, exactly. Who wins?
Well, I tell you, what Tampa Bay has to do if they want to get out of this hole that they're in right now is they've got to take the shots deep to Jacquez Green. That's been the difference with this team in their two-game winning streak right now is they've taken shots, they've shortened the field. This is not an offense that can drive 80 yards and march it down the field consistently. That's the man that has to get hot.
They've had the one big pass to Green for 47 yards.
And that set up the one field goal.
Falcons have it first down from the 30. Tim Dwight goes in motion. Ken Oxendine tries to follow Bob Christian's block, but doesn't get anywhere before Hardy Nickerson, the 13-year man, gets him.
You know, one thing that's missing from the Buccaneer defense today has been turnovers. They haven't created any, and last week it was Hardy Nickerson as he takes the divot out of the helmet. You know, really iced the game as he intercepted a ball with 13 seconds to go against Elvis Gerbach to win that game. This defense hasn't created anything, hasn't knocked the ball loose here today. And I think the offense needs that type of a shot from the defense.
The Buccaneers haven't gotten turnovers all year. Atlanta, the only team in the league with fewer takeaways than the Buccaneers. Chandler hands off to Oxendine. Hog-collared by Brad Culpepper.
Buccaneer defense right now getting physical. I mean, they're rearranging the line of scrimmage. Derek Brooks right here. Misses the tackle right here, but good penetration on the play. Forced Kenny Oxendine to go wider than he wanted to. Look at McFarland right here. Take the left guard, Howland right back to the quarterback. You know, when you start pressuring offenses like this, that's when the turnovers start to come.
Falcons on third down need to get to the 40-yard line for the first. Looking to break that over string. Movement on the right side. Ephraim Salaam again.
Well, I tell you, Chidi Ahanotu.
False start. 74 offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Boy, and Chidi Ahanotu, who's the defensive end right here. Well, he was off when Salaam moved now. But, you know, third down here in Tampa, it's a race to the quarterback. Sacks for this defense are like kryptonite. And the one guy that lives for more than anybody is Warren Sapp, working against the left guard, Bob Howell. When he beats guys, he beats them to the outside.
Falcons, trouble on third and long. They've got 3rd and 12 right now. Dumps it off. There's that screen over the middle to Winslow Oliver, and Oliver is going to fall short of the first down thanks to Derek Brooks.
Boy, Brooks is just a cleanup machine. You know, probably the fastest linebacker in the league. Look at the eyes are always working right now. So quick to react. Yeah. Oof. You know, like the line in the Serengeti right there. In fact, he's going to Africa. He's taking kids to Africa this offseason as part of one of his community projects.
He took the kids to Washington, D.C. last offseason.
Oh, yeah, his days off on Tuesday are all charity.
Dan Straczynski.
Boy, got a return ball.
Carl Williams. Breaks it outside, gets back to the 21-yard line. 46 on the punt, 5 yards on the return by Williams. Buccaneers in a hole.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Nike. By IBM. Are you ready for e-business? By Radio Shack. You've got questions? We've got answers. And by the new redesigned Saturn S Series.
.17 left to play. Buccaneers on first down from the 22. Dilfer dumps it off to Mike Allstott. Allstott out across the 30-yard line. Going to be close to the first down. Ronnie Bradford on the tackle. The MetLife blimp, Snoopy 1, is under the command of Captains Brian Comer and John Conrad, with help from co-pilot Snoopy, of course. The MetLife blimps, Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2, travel approximately 200 days a year visiting towns and cities throughout the U.S. and Canada. So look for the MetLife blimps as they continue to cover sporting events into the next century.
So if Snoopy's up there, is the Red Baron close behind?
He's never far behind. You know that. Wearing a scarf. You know what about those guys wearing scarves, right? Mike Allstott tripped up in the backfield. Lester Archambault.
Big time play by Travis Hall. Got both his mitts working today. Tripped Allstott up and forced a third down right here. Travis Hall right inside right here. Plays off the block by Middleton. Nice job of stuffing things up there in the middle.
Allstott loses a yard on the play. Brings up 3rd and 2. Here comes the Falcons on the blitz. Allstott hitting the backfield and stopped.
Jesse Tuggle. Jesse Tuggle was all over that play.
The hammer.
And this Falcon team may be 2-7, and maybe they're out of the picture, but the front 7 right now is as healthy as they've been in a long, long time. Here comes Tuggle right here, coming right through. Nice timing on the blitz, and that was the key to the play. And once again, the Falcons get off the field on 3rd down.
And another punt from Mark Royals. Only 2 punts combined from these two teams in the first half. This is the 8th one of the second half, and Tim Dwight goes to get this one. Gonna let it bounce. Down by the Buccaneers at the Atlanta 34-yard line, so 37 yards on the punt from Royals. You've seen the kids game, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is Jaquez Green this week? Last week, a career-high 7 catches, 164 yards as the Buccaneers burned the Kansas City Chiefs on the long plays.
And that was the touchdown right there, 52 yards. And he's the game breaker, and that's the guy that they have to work into this offense right now. I mean, when he runs those fly routes, Curt, I'm telling you, you're the cornerback out there, your heart is fluttering. You're looking for help right away. He's talking to Dave Moore right now about how he can get behind that defense.
Yeah, but Dave Moore is not going to throw him the ball. Oxendine spreads out to the right. Chandler under pressure, gets rid of it for Timmy Dwight. Incomplete, thrown out of bounds.
Well, that's the Falcons right there. Took a page out of what we were just talking about. At least they took a shot at Timmy Dwight. Now, Alshon Singleton comes with the blitz this time, and he got pressure on Chris Chandler, but here's Singleton right here. Young player out of Temple. Really comes unblocked on the play. And Christian had a double read that time. That's a difficult assignment for the fullback, but at least they went deep to Timmy Dwight.
Trying to stretch this field just a bit. Falcons pretty even in their pass rush plays so far this afternoon. On 2nd down. There's Dwight in motion. Oxendine. Out across the 40-yard line, gains 5.
You know, what the Buccaneers are doing is they're putting the defense out there. They put the defense out there hoping they can make a play to get some field position for the offense. But I don't believe that you can win games in this league right now down the stretch banking on your defense to do it for you. Chris Chandler is a dangerous quarterback. And he can be as accurate as anybody in this league. And right now, you're giving life to this Falcon team. That's a dangerous way to play the game. I think you got to be aggressive and attack both sides of the ball.
Well, the Falcons need to get to the 45-yard line for the first. Ronnie Harris in motion. Chandler lofts it up. Intercepted. Donnie Abraham with the pick.
That's the turnover.
The Buccaneers have relied on their defense to come through, and they come through big time.
That's their 6th turnover now in the last 3 games. Started with the pressure up front. Abraham back on the field. The Falcons take a shot down the field. Not a great throw by Chris Chandler. No, either put it in a position where either Mathis gets it or nobody gets it. So that's the one pick right there.
First down from the 34 for the Buccaneers. Dilfer going up top. Jaquez Green.
There he is.
What a play by Ray Buchanan.
You know, Trent just underthrew him. Well, Trent threw that ball a long ways, too. Great coverage by Buchanan. There's a nice matchup right here. Watch the separation by Green, though. And when the ball is in the air, he hits the after drive. The turbo separating from Buchanan, because Buchanan's running with his hands out. And when you're running with your hands out, you can't run as fast.
Jaquez Green may not be timed the fastest, but he's got that go-get-it speed. You put the ball up there, he's going to go get it.
That's the kind of speed you have, Curt, the go-get-it speed.
Deceptive. Yeah, we like to call it deceptive speed. Exactly. 2nd and 10. Mike Allstott. Across the 40 and still going. The A-train is rolling, folks. Let us roll it out to our big guy, James Brown, for an NFL update.
All right, Curt, take a look at how the Packers are trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Gus Frerotte looking for Jermaine Crowell, overthrows him. Fred Vinson picks it off. 2nd pick that Frerotte has thrown today, returns to 21 yards. Green Bay on top right now. And Curt, you know Bradshaw loved that big guy comment talking about my weight. Back to you, big fella.
Well, we got nothing to say about Bradshaw. You know, those little guys, those quarterbacks, all you can say is, well, they used to play. That's about it. Allstott. And now all of a sudden this Buccaneer offense is rolling as well. Looking like they did in that 2nd quarter when they dominated run, and time of possession.
Well, not surprised. You know, mindset out there in the field is deep ball, pass. It opens things up for Allstott a little bit inside.
Allstott deep in the eye. Gets the ball again. Dances outside. The big guy can rumble with the best of them. Mike Allstott, 8 yards on the run. Down to the field, and Chip Carter we go.
Thanks a lot, Curt. I think Mike's running the ball because probably at halftime he had a box of his Allstott flakes. Actually, he's got a brand new cereal hitting the market. First time on the shelves this week down here in Tampa Bay, and the proceeds from the sales go to the Mike's Allstott Fund, which helps underprivileged children.
It's called the A-Train Express, and it's on track right now. Mike Allstott, 3 consecutive carries for 27 yards. Dilfer stumbles a bit. Goes for Jaquez Green, incomplete. Batted down by Marty Carter. Well, played a little loose right from the beginning when Dilfer couldn't drop back.
Bert Emanuel on the other side of the field, though, gets a nice step on Ronnie Bradford to the post. Trent never saw him because he had to step up. Here's Jaquez Green. Nice job by Ray Buchanan, sticking right to him. That's just great corner play. And we've seen 2 great plays from Ray Buchanan here in this drive.
Buccaneers with 3 receivers in now. There's Allstott. Works it back inside to the 37-yard line, a gain of 2. Offensive coordinator Dave Shula starting to mix things up a little bit more.
And Mike Shula right here in the middle now. This is a very important play here in this 3rd down, trying to keep this drive going. Not in field goal range right now. So really, you got to think about 2 plays right here, Curt. You got this defense. You got to think 2 plays right now to pick up these yards. So you don't have to try to get it all in one. You can run, on this play if you want to.
Warren Dunn alone in the backfield on 3rd down. They need to cross the 30. Just about the 29-yard line, just shy of it. Here comes the blitz. He gets rid of it, but it's going to be way short of the 1st down. Bert Emanuel.
Well, this is a dilemma right now. You see Gramatica, going to come out here on the field. They're going to kick the field goal. See, we've seen him throw this on 3rd down already. That's a nice hit right to the mask. Well, that's a hit to the quarterback's head. You're supposed to try to protect quarterbacks here. Dilfer pleading his case. It's a deaf ear, though.
Martin Gramatica on for a 50-yard field goal attempt. His career long as a rookie is 51 yards.
Drilled it.
Good. Look at that excitement. Martin Gramatica, 50-yard field goal. He kicked a 65-yarder when he was at K-State, so he's got the leg to do it. And it gets the Buccaneers to within 1, 10-9, 5.5 minutes left to go here in Tampa. Martin Gramatica gets the Buccaneers to within a point at 10-9 here in the 4th quarter. Kicks it off to Tim Dwight from his 4. Flags down on the play. Jeff Gooch with the tackle. Bernie Kukar with the call. Holding against the Falcons.
Falcons not many penalties today, but boy, that's going to pin them back in the hole here. And they really needed some field position to come out.
On the return team, on a run back, number 54. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Coming up next is the second half of our Fox doubleheader, a big NFC East matchup. Those first-place Cowboys go into Arizona to try and face the Arizona Cardinals. Emmitt Smith back in action with that broken hand. There's other regional action as well, except for those of you in Tampa, and it's all coming up next right here on Fox.
And the crowd is on their feet here, Curt.
Falcons begin from their own 9-yard line. Ken Oxendine loses a yard. Hardy Nickerson with the tackle.
Well, you know, you talked about that extra gallon of gasoline in the tank when the crowd is on their feet. They need it right now because they need to keep Atlanta pinned in down here and be able to get good field position after the punt. Chris Chandler faced with the situation. I mean, he was faced with this in Minnesota in that NFC Championship game a year ago when they executed so well.
Chandler 11 of 19 on the day, only 95 yards passing. Needs to get him out of the hole on 2nd and long. Play action. Dumps it off to Oxendine. Oxendine slowed down and Derek Brooks pulled him down.
How many tackles for Derek Brooks today? All over the field. When a quarterback checks down to that wide receiver, it's time for Brooks to take over. The eyes never leave the action. Just great hitting position, very sure in the open field, forcing a 3rd down. That man is pumped.
Derek Brooks, 17 tackles last week against Kansas City, looking strong again this outing. Falcons need to get to the 19-yard line for the 1st down. Chandler under pressure, gets rid of it. Incomplete. Damian Robinson came on the blitz from his safety slot and forced the incompletion.
Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator, doesn't blitz a lot, but he will blitz at opportune times. That time a safety blitz from Damian Robinson. See Robinson cheating up right here. He's going to take this B gap right into Chris Chandler's passing arm. Bob Christian, the fullback, picks up the linebacker, and Damian Robinson came free. Nice disguise, good execution.
Straczynski punts out of his end zone. Carl Williams, fair catch at the 40. 47 yards on the punt from Straczynski. Tonight, King of the Hill observes the joy of holiday travel. The Simpsons welcome Apu's octuplets, and it's a tasty feast on Futurama. Then an X-Files guest with the taste for human flesh. All new Fox Sunday tonight at 7:30, 6:30 Central.
Curt, you know, as the playoff picture starts to get settled, you know, and it starts to take shape, the quarterback play becomes vital. Trent Dilfer, who's won 3 games in a row as a starter, It's on his shoulders right now to bring this home.
3:45 to play. Mike Allstott out to the 30, or make it the 43-yard line, a gain of 3. Buccaneers fighting to stay in the hunt. They've won 2 games in a row, trailing the Detroit Lions by only a game, and Detroit right now trailing in Green Bay.
Well, you look at it, Minnesota has the bye this week. Tampa Bay can pull this out today. That'll be a 3-way tie on top of the NFC Central at 6-4. And with Tampa Bay having 3 of the final 6 games at home against Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, they feel like they could take control of this situation.
Dilfer under pressure, escapes the rush, gets out across midfield. Trent Dilfer scrambles once again and gets another running first down.
Chalk another one up for Dilfer. I mean, when you talk about making plays, Dilfer will take the cheers. He's heard the boos here. I mean, this is just strength right now. Breaking the tackle of Lester Archambault right there. Shane Durnett. Archambault came back. He knew how far he had to go for the first down. It's not pretty, but he moves the chains.
His 3 runs have all converted into first downs. Play action. Pass incomplete. Nice breakup by Ray Buchanan. Intended for Jaquez Green.
Well, the Falcons came after Dilfer that time. They did an excellent job of picking it up. You can see bodies coming right into the gaps here. That's Jesse Tuggle and Keith Brooking. All of it picked up, bottled up nicely. Warwick Dunn with the last hit. Well, Ray Buchanan, who was on the ground. Well, Jaquez Green right there. Chance to make that play. Didn't need to jump for that ball. Dilfer put it right in his mitts.
Incompletion sets up second down. Dilfer works out of the shotgun with the empty backfield.
Falcons are going to blitz this.
They show blitz, and the pass is complete. Jaquez Green. Gain of 7. Marty Carter with the tackle.
Now they need to just run this down to the 2-minute here. Come over and talk about this third down situation.
So we're setting up for another fantastic finish in the National Football League this year. Falcons lead at 10-9, 2 minutes to go. Buccaneers with the ball. Buccaneers coach Tony Dungy hoping to pull one more out at the last minute. They trail 10-9 at the 2-minute warning here in the 4th quarter. Buccaneers 3-1 at home so far this season, but Dan Reeves hoping the trend continues. These two teams have played throughout the 90s, and the visiting team has won 4 of the last 5 games.
A lot on that guy right here. You know, he was benched a couple of weeks ago, and he said his game hasn't really changed, but you talk to the players on the team, and they said there's something about Trent that when he got benched, it was like, all right, we got it over with. We got it out of the way. We got it out of our system. He got it out of his system. And during that time, Trent had a chance, a choice, to either sit and sulk about it or go and bond with his teammates, Curt. And he went and really kind of got to know some of his teammates without the pressure for that week. And everybody that you talk to said he's looser, he's calmer, he's having more fun. And the fun can begin here if he can convert this third down.
Well, he's certainly played like a totally different guy. The guys in the locker room say he's a totally different guy. But when you talk to Trent Dilfer, he says he's the same guy that he's always been.
I really believe I haven't changed. I feel like I've been the same for most of the year. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it's just not even worth talking about at this point because it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. I am who I am, and I'm not planning on changing.
Well, who he is the guy who just converted another third down with the pass to Warwick Dunn. They pick up 4 yards on 3rd and 2, and it's first down from the 36.
Boy, clutch. And Warwick Dunn, I think, has become his favorite receiver. I mean, he did miss the one pass on the first third down of the game that got intercepted. But sure hands, nice route, excellent execution on a pressure play.
Allstott deep in the eye. Play action. Going big, pass incomplete. Ronnie Bradford breaks up the pass intended for Bert Emanuel.
Boy, Dilfer threw that ball well, too. He threw it away from Ronnie Bradford. Let it out there for Bert Emanuel to hang with it. Now, they're only at the 36-yard line here, Curt, and Martin Gramatica's career high this year, 51 yards. So They're about 53 yards away right now.
Well, he's shown he's got the leg with a 51-yarder, and he's kicked a 50-yarder in this game as well, but certainly they would like to be a lot closer.
Well, that's why you draft a rookie that high. You think that he can handle pressure situations like he may be under.
Allstott gets him a couple more yards down to the 34-yard line, picks up 2. Gramatica, the 3rd-round pick out of Kansas State, the highest drafted kicker in the National Football League since 1993. Jason Elam drafted with the 70th pick overall by the Denver Broncos. Gramatica taken with the 80th pick overall by the Bucs this year.
Well, Gramatica got off to a hot start for a rookie. He made his first 10 field goals this year, Curt, and since then he's made 6 out of 8. And I saw him kick a field goal in Philadelphia in the 2nd game of the season this year, and the thing was at least 60 yards. I mean, he just cleared the goalpost by forever.
Well, he had some room on the 50-yarder he made today as well. Well, and he's accounted for all of the Buccaneers' points this afternoon.
Well, Dilfer just made a couple of 3rd down conversions here on this drive to get him in this position. He knows right now that he can't make any mistakes with that ball. He can't take a sack right now. You know, he can't turn that ball over. He has to protect it while trying to convert the 3rd down.
They need to get to the 26-yard line for the first. Falcons showing blitz. Dilfer got rid of it. Can't take the sack. Gets rid of it. Falls incomplete. That was close to being disaster.
Yeah, very close play.
Martin Gramatica will come on to attempt the 51-yard field goal.
But Travis Hall inside. 98 never stopped on the play. Here comes Travis Hall in the chase. He's got his jersey. I mean, that's Trent Dilfer's strength, just being able to get rid of that football. A lot of quarterbacks would have eaten it and knocked him out of field goal range. What do you think, Curt? The biggest kick of...
Actually, where they spot it, this will be a 53-yard field goal attempt. The longest of his young pro career for the rookie. Had a 65-yarder at Kansas State. Listen to the crowd.
He's dead on accurate.
I told you the crowd would tell you whether he made it or not. I think he made it.
You know, he's from Argentina. He played soccer all his life, and he has kind of like that. He kind of has that emotion after you score the winning goal in soccer. This thing is solid, dead, perfect. Tony Dungy's just too cool. He's just too cool. Morris Onatoa, the snapper, Mark Royal, the holder, and there it is. As Trent Dilfer would like to say in golf terms, solid, dead, perfect.
Mr. Excitement, Martin Gramatica. 4 field goals on the afternoon. All of the Buccaneers' points, and Tampa Bay has his first lead of the game.
You know, and for Dan, it's sort of the way the season has gone. I mean, as well as they played today, and that front 7 was outstanding against this Buccaneer offense.
There is 58 seconds to go in this ball game. Tim Dwight, who returned that 94-yarder in the Super Bowl last year, returned a 99-yarder last week. It was called back on a penalty, but he has the ability to do it.
And, you know, not only does he have the ability, he has the mindset, Curt. You know, no matter where this ball is kicked, he's going to take it. And it's going to be a full-speed dash.
Gramatica to Dwight at the 3.
Needs one block.
Tim Dwight gets some running room out to the 36-yard line. Shelton Quarles with the tackle. The Falcons got off to the good start. Dwight had the 8-yard touchdown run, the first touchdown run of his career, and they went up 10-0. But after that, it was all Martin Gramatica. 4 field goals, including 1 from 50 and 1 from 53. The Buccaneers lead at 12-10, 51 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter.
And Tony Dungy played it close to his vest. Didn't really try to stretch the field too often. Relied on his defense, and the defense has come through today.
Bob Christian alone in the backfield. 4 receivers in. Chandler over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Winslow Oliver. Now, if you're thinking about the Falcons kicker, Morton Anderson, his long kick this year, 44 yards. He's missed both attempts. He's had over 44 yards this season. His career long, 60, but his leg not what it used to be for the 18-year veteran.
Well, the defense was on the field last week trying to preserve a victory against Kansas City. The defensive coordinator, Monty Kiffin, says, we don't play prevent defense. He doesn't believe in it, and right now, the Bucs don't show one.
Falcons need to get a couple of first downs. Chandler out to Dwight. Tim Dwight makes the catch for a 3-yard pickup. But it's going to be 3rd and long for Atlanta.
Well, the Bucs don't play a prevent defense, and they keep their linebackers, Hardy Nickerson, Derek Brooks, on the field. One of the advantages they have is they don't substitute those guys because they run and cover so well.
Falcons need to get to the 46 for the first. Dwight's in the slot. Jamie German spread out wide to the left. Over the middle, pass intercepted. Donnie Abraham. Donnie Abraham brought down to the 1-yard line. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. The officials get together, say he crossed the goal line, so it's a 47-yard interception return for Donnie Abraham and the Buccaneers.
They got a defense in Tampa Bay. They show up every week, never larger than on this last drive, the last couple of weeks. Last week, Hardy Nickerson preserved the victory with an interception in the end zone. And today, Chris Chandler trying to find his receiver right here, Winslow Oliver. The ball stripped by Derek Brooks, and Donnie Abraham in position here for his 2nd interception of the day.
Martin Gramatica on for the extra point. He gets it, and the Buccaneers now lead it by 9. A minute ago, the Bucs were down 10-9. 10 unanswered points in a brief span.
We talked about Derek Brooks in the open, what kind of player he's been. He was a starter in a Pro Bowl a year ago. And all this guy does is chase people down in the middle of the field. Great speed that time. Took the ball right away from Winslow Oliver. Separated the ball from him, and Donnie Abraham on the hustle. And this defense just comes up huge week after week, Curt. I think that when you look at the central standings, you know, and how this thing might play out, this defense at home with 3 home games down the stretch is going to be very tough.
Buccaneers score 10 points in 31 seconds to go from being down 1 to up 9 with 27 ticks left on the clock. Trent Dilfer, a wonderful day at quarterback despite the injury. The defense coming up huge, and that little man, Martin Gramatica, was a monster for the Buccaneers with 4 field goals on the afternoon, including 2 of 50-plus. 5'8", 170 pounds, a rookie from Argentina, and there's no bigger player for the Bucs this afternoon.
Oh yeah, the smallest guy on the field today will be the biggest star. And here it is. You see, you've got the home games right here against Minnesota and Detroit and Green Bay. You've got a tough one on the road in Seattle next week. Very little time to enjoy this one here today.
Gramatica squibs it down the middle. Winslow Oliver runs around out to the 34-yard line. Shelton Quarles and a host of Buccaneers bring him down, but it looks like with 18 ticks to go, you can put this one in the books for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and now they will move to 6-4, riding a 3-game win streak, the hottest team in the NFC Central besides Minnesota, who has a bye this week.
Well, Minnesota actually with a 4-game win streak, you know, with Jeff George now 4-0 as a starter. And that man right here, Trent Dilfer, now has won his last 4 starts as well. And he's definitely playing better today. Some clutch 3rd down conversions under pressure situations. to get him in position to kick those field goals.
Warren Sapp with the sack. First time he called his name all day.
Second tackle of the day for Sapp, and I was saying that sacks for Sapp were like kryptonite. You know, he'll feel a lot better this week after getting one. When he beats guys, he beats them to the outside. That time, just a rip move against Bob Howland, who's played very well against Warren Sapp today.
This will be the final play of the game. And how typical is that for the Falcons? Sums up their afternoon. Winslow Oliver with the catch, falls down in the open field, but just like that, the Buccaneers with 10 points in a 31-second span with under a minute to go, and they get the win 19-10.
Well, Curt, talking to the Bucs this week, they know that they have to get on a roll in order to be in position for the playoffs. And right now, with 3 wins in a row, I believe that roll has begun.
All right, for Brian Baldinger and Chip Carter, Curt Menefee saying so long from Tampa. Right now, as part of our Visa game break, we're going to take you to bonus coverage of the Lions and Packers right after this message.